It up, shot won't fall. Wilson, what looks like over the back. Well,
Oh boy.
Jump ball is the call.
Wow. Stephanie White's upset about that. I thought that was over the back. Wow. Watch this. That's a jump ball?
It should have been a clear foul at least to anyone actually watching the game. But according to the official score sheet, it was just a jump ball. A'ja Wilson barreled in from behind, swiping at the ball as Lexi Hall stood her ground in. Perfect textbook box-out position. Yet somehow the refs called it a 50-50th play. But fans weren't buying it. The broadcast team was speechless. Coaches on both benches were furious, and for the thousands watching at home, that moment confirmed what many had long suspected. This wasn't just a bad call, it was the breaking point. That one viral clip ripped the lid off something deeper, something players and coaches had quietly endured for months. Now it's no longer just whispers. The controversy has gone public and the calls for an official investigation are only getting louder.
But this was a big win for the Fever because the Aces were the only team that they had not won at least one game to last season, meaning the Aces swept the Fever last season. They actually haven't won a game against the Aces in 16 games. And they did it without Caitlin Clark. This team is crazy. They are beating the #1 team in the league first, and then they go and beat the Aces, who they haven't won to in 16 games. And they did it without Caitlin Clark, which is just a testament to how this team is finally developing a rhythm.
The league is finally starting to feel the pressure, especially with the collective bargaining agreement hanging in the balance. The players have clearly had enough. You can see it in the coaches, practically bursting out of their shoes. In frustration, hear it in the bite of their post-game comments and feel it in every fiery reaction on the court. This isn't about one missed whistle anymore. It's a quiet uprising against a system that's allowed biased, uneven officiating to thrive unchecked. Today, we're breaking down how one controversial play became the flashpoint for a much larger revolt. Using the WNBA's own stats, we'll show just how deep the problem runs and why this single moment has spiraled into a full-scale credibility crisis the league can no longer ignore. If you're done with the sugarcoating and ready to speak the truth, hit that like button and sound off in the comments about the officiating. Now, let's go back to the moment that lit the fuse and sent shockwaves across the internet.
And A'ja Wilson, my God, you see how many free throws that lady have? Oh my God, on the stat sheet, she had basically 30 points, but all the free throws this woman got, man, they tried her best to keep the Aces in the game, man, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter, man. They destroyed the Aces. About freaking time the Fever finally beats the Aces, man, and without Caitlin Clark.
Even the commentators, normally experts at staying neutral, were stumbling over their words, trying to process what just happened. And really, this play wasn't complex. It was pure basketball fundamentals. Anyone who's ever played the game knows the rule. You box out, claim your space, and that space belongs to you. No questions asked. Lexi Hall did everything right. She got into ideal rebounding position, stood her ground, and sealed off A'ja Wilson exactly how the rulebook teaches. Wilson ignored all of it, charging right over Hull's shoulders and making blatant contact. It was the textbook definition of an over-the-back foul. In 99 out of 100 cases, that's Fever ball. Clear, obvious, no debate.
It's a foul. It's a third. Lexi Hall, tremendous three and leads the league at 50% shooting the three, draws the charge.
Apparently not. Instead of calling the obvious foul, The referees stunned everyone by signaling a jump ball. It was a decision that felt frozen and time-outdated, confusing, and completely disconnected from the basic rules of the game. This wasn't a tough judgment call. It wasn't even close. It was a clear violation that somehow ended up rewarding the aggressor, giving possession right back to Las Vegas. And that's all it took. In seconds, this short, undeniable clip became the rallying cry for fans who had been calling out the league's officiating all season long. Missed calls, one-sided whistles, inconsistent enforcement. What was once dismissed as overreaction or conspiracy suddenly had undeniable evidence. And the worst part? This wasn't an isolated incident. It was just the most blatant example of a trend fans had been tracking for months.
This defense is playing phenomenal. Oh my God, it's night and day. I think that Commissioner's Cup gave them swag. Now they're swagging it out. I never seen Natasha Howard so aggressive in my life. This girl is beasting now all suddenly. She is beast moding right now. And Timpson, the rookie, getting block shots, getting steals. Aaliyah Boston is just murking, destroying Aja Wilson. I got a Wilson. I got a nickname for Aja Wilson, guys. You know what it is? Whistle Wilson. Because this lady's always getting whistles. She's the person with the special whistle, guys. Every freaking time. And then she goes to the free throw line. Freaking free throw merchant. I think she's related to SGA. But anyway, she's not playing that great.
Because when you take a step back, that single play isn't just an isolated incident, it's part of a much larger, more troubling pattern. Fans have even given it a name, Whistle Wilson. And this isn't just a trending joke on Twitter. It's become a grassroots movement backed by data. Hardcore WNBA fans have been watching Aja Wilson's games closely, documenting every questionable foul she draws and every no call that goes her way. And in this particular matchup, the pattern was impossible to ignore. Wilson alone went to the free throw line 13 times. Meanwhile, the entire Indiana Fever Team 12 players across 4 quarters had just 17 attempts combined. One player, nearly outshooting an entire team from the line. Think about that for a moment.
The Aces tried to put a little run together to start the third quarter, and Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull shut that shit down. They shut it down by hitting some big shots. All right, that steal led to the only 2 points that Sophie Cunningham had, but it was big. So right here, let's start Aaliyah Boston right here. That's Sydney Colson to Boston. She gonna drive into the lane, and I've got to tell you, she gave Aja Wilson all she could handle.
And this wasn't just some online outrage, it unfolded live, right in front of millions on the broadcast. Even the commentators, who usually walk a careful line, couldn't ignore what was happening. Despite their efforts to stay composed, they admitted what everyone was seeing. The officiating was clearly one-sided. One analyst said it outright. Almost with resignation, they're trying to keep Vegas in the game. Another offered a more reserved take, but no one challenged the claim. The bias was too blatant to deny. Even the most experienced voices on the mic had to acknowledge the uncomfortable truth. Aja Wilson and a few other WNBA superstars seemed to be playing under a completely different rulebook.
Aja Wilson, she got a favorable whistle in the second half, but it is what it is. Superstars get the whistle. Unless your name is, 29 points for Aja Wilson, 3 boards, 3 personal fouls, 3 turnovers, 9 for 18 from the field, 11 for 13 from the free throw line. Look at the rest of her team. 2 points, 2 points, 2 points, 6 points, 0 points, 4 points, 2 points, 3 points. Dana Evans, 1 for 10, Dana Evans. Oh my goodness.
The whistle favors the superstars. It was said like it's just part of how the game works. But that kind of quiet normalization is exactly what's chipping away at the league's credibility. Because when fans start to believe that outcomes hinge on who the refs choose to favor, not on effort, talent, or grit, that's when the idea of fair competition starts to fall apart. That jump ball controversy wasn't just another missed call. It was a moment that confirmed every fan's biggest fear, that biased officiating, not actual basketball, might be determining the outcome. So what do you think? Is the superstar whistle real? Are some players getting a different standard of treatment? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear where you stand.
Wilson crossing over. Wilson hangs. Wilson finishes.
Oh boy. Here she comes.
See, Hull, a much-needed answer for Indiana.
See, after the miss, Hull on the floor again, finds Mitchell, right corner for three. Good! It's Mitchell the other way for two. 57-38 Fever with 3:35 left in the third quarter.
Becky Hammonds had enough.